So, hello everyone, and welcome back to STW Sports. And today I'm joined by Huddersfield Town fan Tom Safdari. Well, Tom, welcome to the channel. And firstly, going to ask you about Huddersfield's chances. What are you expecting from the Terriers going into the new season?
I'm expecting a more consistent season, hopefully. We've signed some good players early doors this season, which is always promising, and they seem like they're bedded in well. From the results in pre-season so far. So I've been very happy with what I've seen from the team so far. Ideally would be a top half finish. Unrealistic goal would be playoffs, but we're meant to be seeing how we get on, obviously. But we've started pre-season fairly well, and I'm happy with what I've seen so far from the team.
Obviously, with pre-season so far, a 1-0 win against Harrogate and a 2-0 win against Southport, I believe it is. Keeping clean sheets, building momentum. I know it's more about fitness pre-season, obviously players getting up to speed. But do you think a positive pre-season could go a long way for Huddersfield, who, to be honest, second half of last season were struggling to pick up results?
Yes, I'd say so. You just obviously getting results in any format is obviously good for confidence, no matter if it's pre-season or friendlies, etc. It's always good for confidence. So if you can build up a strong pre-season with consistent victories, that'll bed into the season. So that'll be hopefully good for the team. Obviously, we've got Norwich back-to-back friendlies, which should be a good test, the strongest test so far this week. And then obviously we've got Fleetwood before the Carabao Cup tie against Sheffield Wednesday. So yeah, we've got some good fixtures to prepare ourselves for the season.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, another big thing this season for every club is fans returning. Obviously, the John Smith Stadium, very much a good ground when it gets going. Obviously, we saw in the Premier League days. How important is it if the atmosphere is generated? How important do you think that could be for the team? Because, like everyone, Huddersfield certainly missed the fans last season.
Yes, obviously, like every team, it gives that team the extra impetus. Edge at home fans pushing you forward. It always helps the team, and I think that affects a lot of teams, as you could see for their support. So yeah, I think that's a factor that's going to be beneficial for all teams, especially Huddersfield this season. Just especially at the Cowshed end, that's going to be a raucous atmosphere once come the first game of the season against Fulham. So I'm sure all town fans are looking forward to that.
Obviously, Carlos Corberán's never managed a game in front of the Huddersfield supporters. Obviously, last season, you'll probably forgive him, of course, for maybe bedding in, getting his ideas through. Like I said, made a lot of signings over the summer. Do you think that the start of the season anyway, is going to see what Huddersfield fans really think of Corberán and maybe his impact of the club going forward?
Yeah, I think I'd say so, because we've not really had that relationship with him like we've had with any other manager, really, because we've not actually been at the ground to watch the side play under his stewardship. But yeah, I think this is going to be important factor, obviously, to build that relationship with Corberán come first game against Fulham. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, you're hoping to see like more consistent town performances over the season, because we started off very promisingly behind closed doors, that must be said. But we've been the beginning of the season in 2020, and then come the end of the season in January onwards, we just faltered, really. We only won a few games come post Christmas, so we really struggled without the fans as well, and injuries. But yeah, I think it's going to be very, very important to have the fans back for Corberán on the side.
With obviously re-signing Jordan Rhodes, obviously kind of a big one. Obviously, he has been at the club before, was once a great championship striker. Are you expecting the same sort of Jordan Rhodes impact, or are you maybe thinking that his best days are behind him, but he'll still do a job for the team?
I think he'll still do a job for the team. It remains to be seen whether it could be the same old Jordan Rhodes that he was, the poacher, the very clinical finisher he was back when his first spell at Town. I feel like it's service that he needs. Like any striker, he's a poacher, so he needs the service, and I think he can score goals. Obviously, he struggled since he left Blackburn. He only scored 18 goals in a league for Sheffield Wednesday in his spell there, so he struggled, really. So I'm hoping to see a Jordan Rhodes that can do a job for the team and hopefully get into double figures, 10 to 15 goals. That would be a success for signing. Obviously, we've signed him on a 3-year deal, so you hope to get a lot of goals for your money there. So yeah, hopefully it can be it'd be as impact as he did in the first spell, if not better. But yeah, you'd like to see if he can get to 100 goals mark. That'd be a target of his, just to get to that marker. But I'm hopefully looking forward to seeing him in a Town shirt again.
Obviously, you mentioned the Fulham game already. That been your first home game for Town back. Well, the first game of the season, of course, in the league is Derby County away. Obviously, last season, relegation rivals might not be the case this year. But with everything going on at Derby right now, do you think that's a really good chance on the opening day to gain 3 valuable points and take confidence into that Fulham game?
Definitely, I'd say so. Yeah, obviously, there's been a lot of upheaval from Derby's perspective that we could possibly take advantage of in regards to, obviously, they've had issues with EFL. Obviously, it's well documented that, so we'll go into that. But obviously, yeah, I'd say that's out of the opening fixtures, that's one where you'd like to get off to an opening win and a good start. That could build on to the next fixtures, which are more difficult for Town, you would say, with Fulham, and then obviously Sheffield United. So in them block of fixtures. So yeah, you'd say so that Derby is the most winnable fixture so far in the opening games.
Yeah, you touched on the signings earlier on. A lot of signings are being made. What have you made of this overall signings from the club so far, though, this window?
Good. Firstly, Town have signed early doors. They've got most of the deals done early, which is good because it helps them bed in all the players into the surroundings and style of play, etc. So I'm happy with the fact that they've not left it to the last minute previously, and there's no panic buys there compared to in January with Nias and Sanogo, etc., which didn't work out. The signings that we've signed, I've been happy with like who they are as a player. You've got Matty Pearson, a leader, to kind of hopefully fill the void of Schindler's departure. We've got Ruffles, a good left back that can score goals, similar to Toffolo, so you can push him. You've got Ollie Turton, could replace Pippa, who's not been featuring in pre-season so far, so he's been linked with a move away. Who was a good versatile right back. Obviously, you've got Lee Nichols to give the youngster Ryan Schofield a push for his money. You know, he's a bit more experienced in Schofield, and that was shown sometimes in the games where you just lack that physicality and experience in some of the games. So we've got a good few signings there, which are quite promising. And obviously, we've still got some good young players in the club. We've got Sorba Thomas, Karoma, Armin Moore, some really good young promising talent that could really flourish under Corberan this season.
Looking at the other teams in the Championship, obviously, you know, the teams coming down this year, obviously, have all appointed, you say, strong managerial appointments. But realistically, where do you think Huddersfield could finish next season? I know it's a very open league, the Championship, but from a realistic point of view, where do you think Huddersfield could finish, would you say?
I'd say top half. I don't see us reaching the playoffs. I think top half is very realistic with the squad that we're built so far. Obviously, we still could add to it. And we could lose some players as well. We could lose Bakuna and Benz and Pippa, who are one of our promising players from last season. But yeah, I'd say top half would be a good finish. As a squad, I don't think we're going to be pushing the likes of Fulham, Bournemouth and Sheffield United for the promotion, and West Brom as well. But yeah, I think top half finish, top 10 would be happy with that, and to build on to a promotion plus next season possibly.
And obviously, looking into that Derby game, it's a few weeks away yet, but I'm going to ask for an early prediction perhaps from you going into that opening day game. Obviously, a lot can change in a few weeks, especially for Derby's situation right now. But if you were to predict the game right now, what would you say?
I'd say a 2-0 win for Town. I'm happy to say that. I think we can get a 2-0 victory there. Just from the pre-season form, we look quite solid at the back, which is always good and promising. But I can see us beating Derby at the moment in time. Obviously, we should be going there to win, and then obviously we're going to be seeing if we can do that. But that's my prediction: 2-0 Town.
Yep, and very sorry to put you on the spot here, but I am going to ask, like I've been asking most of my interviewees recently, about if you were to say now where you think Town would finish in the Championship, whereabouts would you put them, like from right now?
Right now, 12th.
So banging mid-table.
Yeah, banging mid-table. Quite cautious, but as long as we're not getting another relegation scrap, I'm happy with 12th. It's progress.
I think that's a fair point. I think, like you say, a couple of seasons in the relegation battle, so that certainly would do.
No Town fan wants to see that anymore. Really, we've seen enough relegation scraps for our lifetime.
Yes, no, that's a very fair point. But that's all we've got time for anyway in this interview today, Tom. But thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you.